I want to start this off and say thank you to Hulu in association with National Geographic for the early screener of this TV miniseries slash documentary, which is a 3-part called Cult Massacre, One Day in Jonestown, which is all about Jim Jones. Now, I have heard of Jim Jones through the song by the band Skinned, and that was my first ever introduction because I personally didn't even know about this. So yeah, you might be wondering, okay, someone who doesn't know about what happened. Yeah, that is me. Anyway, is this worth checking out? Absolutely it is. Find out why. Stick around. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel and thank you so much for taking your own time out to check out this video. My name is Mike. If you're brand new here or if you're returning, thank you for coming back once again. Now, I was definitely intrigued when I got sent this documentary TV series to review because, I'll be honest, I know a little bit about Jim Jones through the band Skinned, who actually made a song about him. It's a really, really great song. And that was all I knew about him, right? And you might be wondering, well, Mike, how have you never heard of what happened in Jonestown? I'll be honest, I don't. A lot of these kind of famous, people that's done, horrendous things, I personally don't know about. Nor do I choose to care to really know about that unless something really interests me about them, or usually if they make a documentary or movie around them. Now, this is directed by Marian Mohammed. I've never seen any of this director's previous works, and I honestly think that this director absolutely knocked it out of the park because this 3-part miniseries is truly fantastic, guys. Now, I'm not going to go into spoilers for if anyone actually wants to check this out and has never actually heard of Jim Jones, or has maybe heard of him but did not know what happened on November 18th in 1978, because I'll just be giving you guys spoilers at that point, right? But I mean, of course, if you know what happened, then this definitely gives you more insight into what happened, because this whole thing is shot really, really well. One always problem I find with documentaries is they always flick from present to in the past to the present, and they continuously do that throughout the entire runtime, which really irritates the life out of me, and I just don't know why it's always chose to be edited like that. But thankfully, One Day in Jonestown does not do that. Maybe once, and that's about it. But besides that one time, this is a very fluid miniseries documentary. I want to call it a documentary. It's very fluid. It starts from right at the beginning event sequence of time all the way up to 1978 and a little bit of the aftermath of that disastrous and horrendous and truly awful and despicable day in 1978. And I really appreciate the editing that went into making that such a cohesive story, because after each episode finished, which was around, I believe, 44 minutes roughly in length, the episode, the way it ended, left you wanting more. By episode 1, my reaction, because I watched this with my partner as she knows what happened at that time, and I watched this and I said to her, I turned to her and I was like, oh wow, okay, like they really went there, like they really did that. So that was like really shocking by the end of the first episode. By the end of the second episode, she was in tears and I was kind of like taken aback. I was like, oh man, like wow. And then by the end of the third thing, we were just like, what a truly despicable that guy really, really was. And if a series like this documentary can really make you invested that much to the point where you are having these emotions watching it throughout and just truly shocked and appalled by what happened, then they've done a great job at putting this together, because throughout the entire runtime of this 3-bar documentary TV series, they have people talking who are survivors of the People's Temple. They have people who are like eyewitness first accounts that saw what happened that day, or like the aftermath of that day, and how some of these people even escaped, which is just crazy stories to start with. But one thing I really appreciated about this whole thing was the amount of footage they actually showed, because I believe they're showing never before seen footage either. But I can't believe how much of this was actually documented. I thought, okay, well, we might see some images, maybe 1 or 2 clips here or there. No, this entire thing is pretty much filled with footage from the 1970s period. And it really just helped you to envelop you into this world of how these people got into the People's Temple and how Jim Jones started this, I guess, revolution or idealistic religious organization at the time. Because for the people who lived in Jonestown, they even say this in the documentary, the fact that they got free medical, which I'm not from America, I'm from the UK, but in America they have crazy medical expenses. You got like free food. It was a sense of community at that time where there was a lot of divide in the country. Not saying that there isn't now, I don't live there, but especially at that time and just after the Vietnam War, there was just, no racism, no ageism, nothing. Everyone could just be themselves in this place. So to an extent, when you watch it from an outside perspective, you can kind of see why some people probably did follow this and probably go into this People's Temple, a place where they felt like, anyone could, everyone, you could be yourself. It's just truly heartbreaking. Like, this is not an easy watch by any stretch of the imagination, because all the footage that they show, and again, once you know the aftermath and once you learn what happens if you don't know, that footage becomes horrifyingly real. Not that it isn't anyway, because of course it is. It's real footage from the event, but just what you see about like these young children, these men and these women, and then the stories that we're hearing from these survivors of what they went through and how they even got out of this, but also some of the sacrifices that they had to make to get out of this. Especially a guy, I think he's called Tim, I believe, who was shown. I think he's in from episode 2. His story was utterly heartbreaking, and it was emotionally draining after getting through the 3 episodes. And it really opened my eyes quite a lot when I experienced this. And I definitely do want to applaud the director, I want to applaud the editor and the music, and I think it was all done really well, and it was told in such a way that is educational for anyone who did not know about this event. It's also told for anyone who does know about this event. I think they're still going to get stuff out of this because, as I say, they're showing never before seen footage, but I also think it's eye-opening to, some of the atrocities that's happened in this world in the past, and even some that's in present nowadays, and just really given that feeling sometimes of maybe just like how lucky we are in our day-to-day lives that we aren't facing anything like this, or we aren't in any type of, say, like a cult, for example. So I think Cult Massacre, One Day in Jonestown, guys, it is utterly fantastic. In terms of like any nitpicks and negatives, I'll be honest, I don't really have any. Maybe if you've never seen this story before, you're going to get a lot more from it than maybe someone who is really well versed into what happened. Maybe you might get 1 or 2 things here or there. But one added little thing I do want to add here is they even get Stephan Jones to talk here, who was the son of Jim Jones, and his perspective was definitely interesting. I'll let you guys make up your mind on that one. So, have you seen this 3-part TV miniseries documentary? Are you gonna check it out? Let me know down below in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on it. I personally can't recommend it enough, guys. I honestly really had like an interesting time watching this one, and I'm glad that I did watch it despite how despicable it is, because I definitely learned a lot from it anyway. So my overall score would be a 4 out of 5 stars. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Really do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed it, certainly give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button down below if you already haven't. A big thanks to all my awesome Patreons who help to really support the channel. Really does mean a lot, and you can join today from only £2 per month, and the link is down below in the description box. In the meantime, click over here to check out more videos of mine that you may have missed or may have not have seen. As of right now, a bit more cheerful videos. And until the next time that I see you guys, I'll be seeing you later.